What's up, my Italian timers? Check your clocks. Guys, today we're going to talk about a few verbs that I know will be super useful to you because they're not the easiest translations. They're a little bit difficult. And I'm sure that when I was learning Italian, I wish I had known these verbs. So let's get started. So our first verb is to pretend. In Italian, they actually say fare finta. Okay, so it's not pretendere. Pretendere is actually more like claiming something. Pretend is fare finta. So with that knowledge, how would you say, he pretended not to know me? If you guys have to pause the video, the answer's coming in 3, 2, 1. So, of course, we would conjugate it in the past tense, ha fatto, and then you just add finta. This never changes. Finta never becomes any agreement. So, ha fatto finta di plus the infinitive. He pretended not to know me. Ha fatto finta di non conoscermi. What about the next verb, realize? Seems like a simple verb in English. In Italian, it's a little bit more complicated. They say rendersi conto, and the other option is accorgersi. So both of these have reflexive. With this conto, just add it after you conjugate the verb rendersi, just like up here when we add finta. So with that being said, how would you say, in that moment, I realized you were right? So there's two answers, one with rendersi conto and one with accorgersi. How would you guys say that? Pause the video if you have to. 3, 2, 1. So the first answer, we would say, in quel momento mi sono reso conto che avevi ragione. So rendersi conto gets conjugated right here. Mi sono reso. Of course, you have to use essere and keep the reflexive mi at the start, and that's exactly why we're using essere here. And then, as I said, you just add conto after. With accorgersi, the past tense is actually accorto, and sorry, this past tense is reso, so they're both irregular. So mi sono accorto che avevi ragione. So in that moment, I realized myself that you were right. But this is not you were right. That's you have or you had reason. And that brings me to my next word down here, to be right or be wrong. In Italian, they do not use essere. They actually use avere ragione, to have reason, or to have torto, to be wrong. So to say I'm right, it's ho ragione. To say I'm wrong, it's ho torto. With that being said, how would you say people who admit they're wrong are very rare? Pause the video. 3, 2, 1. So we would say le persone che ammettono di avere torto sono molto rare. So here, as you can see, people who admit to be wrong or to have torto are very rare. So one thing I want to point out here is the subject doesn't change. It's people who admit that those same people are wrong. So in Italian, instead of repeating the subject by saying le persone che ammettono che hanno torto, instead they actually use this di and then an infinitive. So it's kind of like saying people who admit to be wrong, people who admit to have wrong are very rare. So this I, rare, matches the people, persone, which is also feminine and plural. So le persone che ammettono, third person plural, loro, di avere torto sono molto rare. Okay? Let's go on. I think I have, 3 more verbs, guys. Next is, there's no really good translation in English, actually, but in Italian it means like to stop doing an activity, to slowly give something up. Maybe you start something new in life and then little by little you let it go. So that would be mollare. So this is a difficult verb. It kind of means give something up. But with that being said, how would you translate this sentence? You guys can pause the video. 3, 2, 1. So to say I started playing the guitar every day, but after a month I gave it up, you could say ho iniziato a suonare la chitarra tutti I giorni, ma dopo un mese ho mollato. So of course the ending part here, I gave it up, I let it go, I'm mollato. I kind of just like mollare something. So ho mollato, I gave it up, which kind of means like to stop doing some activity, to give something up. So going on, the next one is actually sbagliare, or also sbagliarsi. And there's no big difference that I've noticed between sbagliarsi and sbagliare. So you can choose to use the reflexive or the normal version, which of course means to make a mistake, okay? So another way to say make a mistake is also fare un errore. So how would you say, sorry, I messed up? The appointment is actually at noon. So this messed up would be the I made a mistake. Let's use sbagliare. So how would you translate that? 3, 2, 1. So here I would say, scusami, sorry. I messed up. Mi sono sbagliato. So I mistaked myself, or I made a mistake. So I chose to use the reflexive si. Mi sono sbagliato. But I could have also just said, oh, sbagliato. That's good too. In realtà, l'appuntamento è a mezzogiorno. So actually, the appointment is at noon, mezzogiorno, midday. So again, sbagliarsi means to make a mistake or to mess up. And last but not least, the verb fit is almost doesn't exist in Italian. So you have to actually say something sta bene, and you could put the pronoun there like mi sta bene or mi stanno bene if the thing is plural. So stare bene a qualcuno. So let's do 2 examples with this one. First is that skirt looks good on you. So that skirt fits you. So skirt is gonna. So how would you say that in Italian? 3, 2, 1. So I would say quella gonna, that skirt, ti sta bene. So it looks good on you, it fits you. That's basically an overlapping meaning in Italian. It fits you or looks good on you. Ti sta bene. And then what about this sweatshirt doesn't fit me? How would you say that? Sweatshirt felpa. So 3, 2, 1. So I would say questa felpa. So this time it's this as opposed to that. Questa felpa non mi sta bene. So of course mi is this object here now. So we don't want to say ti. So questa felpa non mi sta bene. Non mi sta molto bene questa felpa. Okay, so this shirt doesn't look too good on me. So that's it. So remember, stare bene, sbagliarsi, mollare, avere ragione, avere torto, rendersi conto, accorgersi, to realize, and last was fare finta, okay? So I hope you guys learned something from this video. I know I would have appreciated it 7 years ago when my Italian journey began. But if you guys are finding this useful and if you like Italian and you want to listen to Italian, you should check out Italian Breeze. It's Sonia's and my show, basically, and podcast, where we speak Italian for about an hour every week. Many people enjoy it. Check that out in the link below. And I'll catch you guys next time, okay? Ciao. Peace.